I think it's weird. I'm like looking at my family like, are they saying that? Like, I'm like, this is so odd.
Hey there, this is LJ, owner and founder of Smart Moms Plan Disney and Smart Moms Travel. Welcome to the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. I wish I could be with you for every episode, but don't worry, I have chosen an awesome host who will be with you each and every week. I love her, and I know you will too. Here's Allie.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. I am your host, Allie, once again today joined by founder of Smart Moms Plan Disney, LJ, and Stacy. Welcome back to both of you. How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
Today we are going to start a 4-park deep dive series as we explore all 4 of Walt Disney World's main theme parks, of course starting with the crown jewel of them all, Magic Kingdom. Ladies, is Magic Kingdom your favorite park?
It is mine. Honestly, I really love Epcot, but just for the fact that my kids love Magic Kingdom so much, that has always tipped the scales for me and made Magic Kingdom so close to my heart. So if I was judging just on my own, I'd probably head to Epcot. But as moms, we're suckers for whatever our kids want. So,
and I think it's almost a question like, who's your favorite kid? You know, it's like, it's a nostalgia at Magic Kingdom that just isn't at the other parks. And if I judge it based on where I'm spending the most time, I am usually spending 2 days at Magic Kingdom. When doing one of our regular vacations, I'll do 2 days at Magic Kingdom, but I'll also do 2 days at Epcot. So it is right there. Epcot, I would probably say, is my favorite, but I really want to spend a lot of time at Magic Kingdom as well.
Yeah, Magic Kingdom is not my favorite park by a lot, I would say. However, because my kids do love it so much, like you were saying, LJ, and the vibe and the feelings that I get while I'm there, even though it's not my favorite park, I honestly think it's a perfect park. You know, there's not much I would say I don't like about it. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to be. It's just not my personal favorite. It's not even my kids' personal favorite, actually. But when we're there, 100% of the time, we're smiling, we're happy, we're in good moods, we're taking stroller naps with cotton candy melting in our hand. It's what Disney World is. It's the entire experience wrapped up around you.
It is Disney World. I'm going to Disney World. Everyone pictures the castle. Everyone pictures that's where you're going. And it is that happiness of childhood in Magic Kingdom that you really don't instantly think of with the other parks.
I agree with that. Ace is about to turn 4 next week, and she's been to Disney World more than any kid I know. And I feel like at 4, she has a pretty good grasp of how things work. And she still is, no, Magic Kingdom is Disney World. Like, we'll be at, say, Hollywood Studios, and she's like, I thought we were going to Disney World. World, and she's like, I want to ride Dumbo, and I'm like, okay, but that's at Magic Kingdom. So she's actually learning now that she wants Magic Kingdom, and she'll say that. But just like you said, Magic Kingdom is Disney World to her.
So funny. Yeah. Because when I'm working as a Smart Moms travel agent and I'm talking with clients, it's interesting that you say that, because the Disneyland park is sort of that equivalent experience. You know, Magic Kingdom is laid out the same way as Disneyland Park in California. So many of my clients and potential clients, especially that have never been, will say, okay, we definitely want to go to Disney World, and then tell me about the other parks. And
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on, wait. And so I always think that's really funny. But for anyone that doesn't know, Disney World does have the 4 main theme parks we're referencing. Of course, Magic Kingdom is that castle park. It is the one you are thinking of when you're thinking Disney World. And then there is Epcot with the big spaceship Earth. A lot of people say it looks like a big golf ball. And then Hollywood Studios. And then there's Animal Kingdom, which is my least favorite of the 4, but we can get into that later. So all of them are so unique and amazing. And I'm looking forward to diving deep into what makes each one so uniquely special. But Magic Kingdom is truly the one that is that Disney World experience. This is what you are envisioning when you are starting to plan that vacation with your family.
And there isn't Harry Potter in any of them.
No, he's not there. It's true because Magic Kingdom is divided up into specific areas and everyone is so unique. So something I love about taking my family there is we're all having a great time the whole time we're there, but we don't necessarily all have our favorite part of the park. And so we're able to sort of go through, and each of my kids has that must-do area they need to visit. There's Tomorrowland, where Space Mountain is, among other awesome things. There's Fantasyland, which is every little kiddo's dream. There's Peter Pan is there, Small World is there, the carousel, you can pull the sword out of the stone. All of that, that's straight past the castle. Liberty Square, which, we can get into Liberty Square in a little bit. Adventureland, Frontierland, and then honestly, probably my favorite area is Main Street USA.
Yeah, I would have to say that too.
So nostalgic.
Yeah, Main Street USA just has everything. It's the sights, sounds, smells, energy. One of my favorite things is that you walk into Magic Kingdom and quite honestly, 90% of the time you'll walk in on some sort of excitement, right? Whether it's a cavalcade going by or princesses lined up, standing, waving from the train station, or the barbershop quartet, the Dapper Dans singing right there on the street. It's another world, truly. You're standing there and I just cry almost every single time that I walk in. And it doesn't matter how many times I've been there. I love that you walk in and you can't see the castle until you take that turn around the corner and it's, there it is. And that first look, no matter how many times you've done it, is so special.
It really is. So which way do you ladies head as you're walking into the park? And when you're talking about going around that corner, where is your compass set on which direction you're going? Because I've had this conversation with a few different people and we're always headed towards Tomorrowland first. And I have had some people just really come back at me like, that is wrong. Which ways do you go? Because I know there's always the big discussion about which way you start in World Showcase. Obviously, the correct answer in Epcot is Mexico. But apparently, there's a little bit of a difference in how people approach Magic Kingdom. What about you, ladies?
We always head usually right down the middle and go to Fantasyland because, first of all, we're not rope droppers. So we're not coming in with a huge crowd of people who are all picking their direction and heading different ways. It's a lot less like that when you get to the parks at 1 or 2, which is pretty much what we like to do. So it doesn't feel as important as choosing a direction because it's not like everybody's with you. But my kids, they love Fantasyland. And I feel like we spend the majority of our time at the carousel, Dumbo, the Dumbo play area, Ariel, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and now that Enchanted Tales with Belle is reopened, it's just even more time we'll spend back in Fantasyland. So we have, depending on if there's a show, we'll head right up through the castle back there. But if there's a show, we'll head around over by Sleepy Hollow to get over behind the castle.
I always want to head straight to Fantasyland because I do love being back there, but I don't know what it is about my brain. I feel really odd when I go straight forward and then I know I have areas that my family does want to explore to my right and left. Stacey, we're with you. We go to Tomorrowland. Yeah. Almost every single time.
Yep. I feel like that seems most logical. I don't know. But
yeah, which is funny because, you read left to right. So I guess I can understand people that want to go to the left and go Adventureland, Frontierland. But I really can only imagine and picture my family over in those areas later in the day.
Exactly. And especially since Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, that has always been where you had to go. We would go first. And then we'd hit up Winnie the Pooh and Peter Pan and the rides that could end up taking a lot of time. This is pre-Genie Plus and when we were not quite maneuvering the way we do now. But that was our routine. We would not necessarily do Space Mountain right off the bat, but we would definitely start coming through Tomorrowland, enjoying that view and maybe get some coffee and then head on through to Seven Dwarfs particularly.
Yeah, we do love to spend some time on Main Street before we get going. I think, and you both can very likely relate to this because we are in the parks often. We don't feel that sense of rush. So we take our time on Main Street. We will grab a coffee. The kids will grab some sort of snack usually. We will go in the Emporium. We will take in the smells and all of the energy and just sort of take our time and work our way over towards Tomorrowland. Get a picture by the purple wall, do all the things. But that's typically the way we're going as well. Let me ask you this. LJ, you mentioned that Enchanted Tales with Belle is open, and I'm so glad. That's a show / experience back in the back of Fantasyland where you can go in Belle's cottage and she reenacts story of the night she and the Beast met. And they actually cast your different kids in the show. And my daughter was cast as the Beast once. And it was absolutely probably my favorite Disney memory of all time.
Yes, the trip that changed my life. You know, I talk about this often. There was a trip in 2013, and that trip was so magical that, like, okay, flash forward, we live here.
Yeah.
Your life is different. Part of the magic of that trip was that Seth was the Beast, and it meant so much to him. He loved it, and he would have been like 4.
My daughter was 4.
I think they look for that age where they're capable of doing things and listening. They're not like a toddler, but the magic is still so real. I remember this. I feel like I'm going to take this to my grave. We came out and he said, "That girl," and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I want to take her home and just keep her."
It is at the end. I mean, a little bit of a spoiler alert, so plug your ears if you don't like spoilers, but the Beast gets to dance with Belle. And I could literally cry thinking about my daughter was dressed as Cinderella in the pink dress and she had the Beast cape on. And it was the most magical. And that's what Magic Kingdom does is I feel like there are moments like that around every corner. You know, you're walking and all of a sudden you see a princess that you love and there she is and she's greeting her. Winnie the Pooh is walking by you, you know, and Chip and Dale are hanging out at the circus. It's just so fun and it's magical. It is what Disney is. Do you all think Magic Kingdom is good for all ages?
100%.
Yeah, I also agree. I've heard people say, I don't have kids, so I don't spend as much time at Magic Kingdom. And I'm just like, okay, I don't get it.
I think there's something about just the classiness of Disney, which is kind of what we all say that, you know, Disney World is not your average theme park. So even though there might be a perception, particularly maybe like by dads who they think, oh no, this is going to be miserable, that I'm going to a kiddie park. My love of Disney as a child growing up in the 70s, that's right, I'm the oldest in this bunch. And I look back at old photos, but it was my grandfather who had a reputation for kind of being a gruff old man. And when I look back at photos of us, he was the happiest and he was the one carrying me to see the characters. His smile was bigger than mine. And I know the magic melted his heart. And he was a softie and he loved it so very much. And he loved watching me. He loved the enjoyment that it just brought our family. So I can speak from experience and know that, yes, it is for everyone.
I completely agree. I have similar memories of my own grandfather and my dad just sort of introducing me to the magic. They were a huge part of that introduction for me and enjoying it with them. I personally, as I said, it's not my favorite park, even though I think it's pretty perfect. There are other things I enjoy at Disney World maybe a little more. So when I am on trips without my kids, I do tend to spend less time there. But when I am there by myself, I'm typically, like LJ said, enjoying the atmosphere. You know, I like to sit on the hub grass. I work from the hub grass often, and I think that's great. But then when I'm with my kids, it's just, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? They're just having so much fun that it's so intoxicating and it's perfect.
It really is.
It's so funny you mentioned working in the hub grass. I did my taxes there. You know, this is my business, so it's not like I was on vacation doing my taxes, but we were on a trip. I needed to get them done. I had said to Mike, I literally just have like 2 hours where I just need to plow through this and get them done. And Mike was like, you just need to do it because it's weighing on you. And I was like, but I can't do them. The kids are here. And he was like, just go to Disney and do them. You're going to feel better. You're not going to hate it as much. You're going to enjoy it. So I went, I got a coffee, sat there, the parade's going by. I'm checking over my receipts.
So amazing.
It really is.
Like nobody enjoys doing their taxes, but it made it definitely 1,000 times better than just doing your taxes at home.
Yeah, I think Magic Kingdom is a perfect balance. It has slow areas for people that need to go at a slower pace. It has fantasy. It has thrills, shows, attractions, characters, ambiance. It has it all. It has great merchandise, great snacks, iconic moments. It's everything that you want when you go to Disney World. So we are going to dive a little bit deeper into all of the things that make Magic Kingdom such a special park and the ways that you and your family can experience Magic Kingdom in the best ways on your vacation when we come back from our break. Okay, everyone, listeners of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast, subscribers, participants, we are so excited. We have something big. Like, I cannot even believe how big this is. Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast is partnering with Smart Moms Plan Disney to give away a deluxe Disney family vacation. We are giving it away to one family. A deluxe vacation. Families of up to 4 will be able to stay at a Disney deluxe property for 3 nights with 4 days of tickets. Have more than 4 in your family? That's no problem. Families of up to 6 can stay in a family suite at Art of Animation and still get the 4 days of tickets. This would cost almost $7,500 to go book this trip on your own, and we're going to give it away to one family for free. Also, we're moms here, so we've made it easy to enter. We know that you don't have a lot of time to waste taking forever to enter a contest, so follow the link in our show notes and on all of our social media bios, and entering will be a breeze. There are several ways to enter, and the more you do, the better chances you have of going to visit the mouse on our dime. Welcome back, everyone. We are ready now to dive deep into Magic Kingdom by starting with our 7s. Magic Kingdom is a happy place, right? We are talking about the most magical place on earth when we are talking about Magic Kingdom. And I want to start with happy, the things that make us happy about this park, because it is so much, right? Number 1 for me, probably tied, actually. The castle, of course. No hate on Disneyland. It wasn't my home park. And actually, my wife had been to Disney World only one time and she didn't really remember it. And we took a trip out to California to Disneyland before she took an adult trip to World. And I hyped up that moment where you turn the corner and see the castle that I was mentioning before. Yeah, I had never been to Disneyland at that point. And so I'm like, here we go. Get ready. This is going to be so great. And we turned the corner and I was like, what? Okay, not as magical as I thought, because I'm so used to, I mean, again, no hate to the OG. I get it. It's Disneyland, but that castle, Cinderella's castle at Disney World, I mean, is it not the most exciting when you're driving on property and you see the castle from afar?
Absolutely majestic. I love it.
Yeah, it doesn't even feel like reality when you see that castle.
So I have a little story. A couple of weeks ago, we went and Ace, she saw the castle. It was like she didn't even notice it. And then we got a little closer and you know what she said? Mommy, there's a toy castle.
And that's what it is. I feel like we're going to get so many angry comments because people are so passionate about Disneyland, and seriously, no disrespect. But I love Disneyland. And I have 3, 4, 5 trips this year where I'm heading back. And you know, if I'm going to have 5, 6 hours to go see it, you know, I love it. It was just adorable and sweet. And I was like, yeah, it's a castle. Yeah, it's so funny. But at Magic Kingdom, sometimes when we are on, like if I'm on an adult trip, Magic Kingdom isn't my priority, right? But I do feel like a trip is not complete for me if I don't see the castle. It's like, did you go to Disney World if you didn't see the castle?
That's right.
And then my other one that is tied with the castle, we work as travel agents for Smart Moms Travel, which LJ is founder and CEO. And within that, I am a team leader, and I named my team after this because I'm so passionate. Fireworks. Fireworks at Disney, specifically the show Happily Ever After, which is just one of the most iconic moments in Disney World history, is just the thing that fills my Disney cup the absolute most. I want all things Disney fireworks over the castle. Give me all of those moments. I have seen them from several different views. I have experienced them in several different ways. I will go late in the park. You know, I'm not much of a rope dropper, but I will stay so late. I will not leave if we have not seen fireworks. It is back now, but prior to the comeback of Happily Ever After, LJ, you got to go to a special sneak peek.
Yeah, I got to see it, not having seen it for so long, and then standing there, and it was like a very special VIP experience. There was a huge crowd, about 8,000 people on Main Street, which I've never seen it that packed. It was literally elbow to elbow, but this was by far my favorite Happily Ever After experience. And just for it to have been so long between viewings for me, it felt like a spiritual experience. I was definitely tearing up. I was wanting to make sure all my favorite parts were left alone, which I do know they had made some changes, but to me they were minor. Nothing like jumped out at me as having been taken away. I just more feel like they added some things. Tinkerbell flew, which was huge, and I wanted the Aladdin part with Robin Williams is my favorite, and I wanted to make sure that that was still in there, and it is. I was crying. I felt like a whole new person, like felt like I could take on the world after watching that.
Yeah, Happily Ever After, the fireworks, that is Magic Kingdom for me. It's worth an entire day or just a pop in. You know, you got a hopper, you hop over and see it. I have watched it from the park, Main Street. I've done a dessert party where you get reserved viewing over in the Hubgrass, similar to what you were saying with a VIP tour. I've watched it from balconies over at the Contemporary, from the beach at the Polynesian. Honestly, there's no bad view. The fireworks at Magic Kingdom are everything.
And they will ruin all of your hometown fireworks shows for you forever.
You know what? Actually, my dad this is probably why I love fireworks. My dad is a fireworks guy and was in charge of the local fireworks show that we have here. That's the biggest one. And I will go to my grave saying it's comparable.
Oh, wow.
It truly, truly is. And I think it's why I have I know it's why I have such a tight tie to fireworks. And I'm very critical of fireworks.
I would say that fireworks are way up there for me too. But when I started thinking, what is the happiest thing about Disney? My childhood memories are mostly around, and I still cry at the parades. And I'm so thankful for, there's a lot of cavalcade type of things at some of the other parks. Magic Kingdom is where you will stake out your spot and have a seat. We will get Mickey ice cream bars, and there is a show, and it is all of your favorite characters. They're interacting with you. And that's what I remember as a child. Although I will say one of my more traumatic moments was also a parade when Captain Hook came up to me when I was about 4 years old. And that was devastating to have an interaction with Captain Hook. But I will even say now, as Captain Hook is going by, I actually love it because I still remember the traumatic moment and I love it now. I'm just like, oh, there you are, you old Captain Hook. You're not going to get me this time. But the long parade is just one of my favorite experiences at Magic Kingdom. The music, the interaction, even if it's just a princess on a float who sees you and she might even point out that she likes what you're wearing. Or I remember Tiana, some Mickey ears that were the color of her dress, and she just, and I was a grown adult and she was telling me how much she liked my ears. And I was like, oh, me too.
That is it. My girls and a bunch of our friends, we all went to Disney together for spring break last year. And there were like 5 kids that were dressed as Rapunzel. And Rapunzel went by on the float, and she's really high up on that float. And she's on this thing that swings. And she looked right at them, pointed, threw her hands up in a heart, hugged her own heart. It was core memory stuff for my girls. I mean, Rapunzel saw that they were dressed like her and acknowledged it, And
yes.
When my son was 3, we were there at Halloween and we saw Oogie Boogie in the parade, the Halloween cavalcade. And my son is obsessed with Oogie Boogie. And LJ, I know you have a little guy that's obsessed with Nightmare Before Christmas as well. And my son had on Oogie Boogie outfit. And I just remember Oogie is on the back of this float and he's pointing 2 fingers at my son and then 2 thumbs at himself. Like, you are me. And my son is just 3 years old, totally got it and was like, Oogie saw me. And he was so happy. And you're right. Those are the things that dreams are made of.
Yes.
I'm honestly like a little teary-eyed right now because
I know it is really magical. It really is. I cry at every parade and it's just wonderful. Can't be missed.
And that for me, the thing that makes me happiest about Magic Kingdom is how happy it makes the people around me. It's my personality type to like want everyone else to have that moment. I view it as my sort of like my role, my job to serve that up to them. And I feel like there's nowhere where it's easier for me to make my kids happy than Magic Kingdom. And even for my rewards trips every month with my agents, I take my top 8 or 9 agents. They get to say where we're going and what we're doing within the framework of the trip. And Magic Kingdom is always on one of the full days. So it's not just the kids that are so happy, but it's also the adults. Like, these are grown women, business owners who are so delighted by Magic Kingdom. And more than anything else, that's what makes me happy about it.
Also, we can't forget one other thing that's the most happy about Magic Kingdom is the way that they do their holidays. We spent a great deal of time talking about this on our When to Go episode, but it's worth talking about how happy the holidays at Disney World are. So obviously your winter holidays and Christmas and the lights and the trees, the special parties and parades, Halloween and all of the fall decorations. They even do special things on the 4th of July, New Year's Eve. So if you ever get the chance to experience any sort of holiday, and specifically at Magic Kingdom, you're just going to get a leveled up experience from all of the things we're talking about, just enhanced in the most magical of ways.
Oh, yes. The parties, particularly for Halloween and Christmas, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. When families are able to add those onto the trip, those will be really magical moments that you can experience in Magic Kingdom that cannot be experienced any other way, with lower crowds, with all of the special character meets and the special events and foods, and just the atmosphere is so magical. I love them very, very much.
I can't agree more. I love the parties. Characters you can never see any other times. And I think what you said about the low crowds and the empty park, I think that's truly one of the most special things. I don't know. You just feel like you own the place. I don't know. It's so fun.
Well, it really does feel like a party you've been invited to and you're Mickey's guest. It's really fun.
So true. And then, of course, they have, which touches my heart, special fireworks shows. You know, there's the Halloween show and the Christmas show that you can experience. And that alone is such a leveled up experience. That alone is worth it for me. And for any smart moms, travel agents listening, today's Hidden Mickey is fireworks. So there is so much about Magic Kingdom that makes us so happy. Obviously, the music, the smells, the attractions, the characters, the parties. I mean, we have talked it through, but even though it's a close to perfect park, there are some things that make me a little grumpy. Number one, a moment of silence for Toontown. You guys, where is Toontown? Why did anybody ever think it was a good idea? Toontown is open again at Disneyland.
Yep.
It has been gone forever from Disney World. For those who don't know, Toontown is like you fully stepped into a cartoon and you're in Mickey's city, his little town. There, all of the gang's houses, their street, the town hall. I mean, it was a childhood dream and you truly felt like you were inside Mickey's world. And to get rid of it and put in the circus, I don't get it.
I only went to Disney World once as a child, and I have very few memories of it, and Toontown is one of them. And I just feel like that really says something about the impression that it made on me. And when I went back as an adult to Disneyland and they have Toontown, I mean, it was like, it brought it all back, and I was just so happy to be there. I am not as attached to it as I'm sure you two were, because like I said, I only had that one trip, and then as an adult, it was already gone by the time I went. I don't mourn for it the way that y'all do, but I do agree. I'm like, come on, there's so much space. Why couldn't you just add, because I don't want to give up anything in Fantasyland or any of like Dumbo's. Couldn't you just add? What do you got to take away?
Obviously, you can't get rid of Dumbo, right? I'm not suggesting that, but I could lose literally every other thing back there. One of the best things about Disney is their ability to theme and create and imagine, right? That is what Disney is. And I just feel like circus doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense to me. It feels like a lot of sort of dead space. You know, there's a bunch of just big buildings that are taking up space just to meet a couple characters, which I love character meet and greets, but Toontown is such a better fit. I have no idea who greenlit getting rid of Toontown.
I know.
Yeah, like going to Mickey's house, seeing Donald's boathouse, you know, the tree house. It was just an experience that, I mean, it's going to get me back to Disneyland this year. It's hard for me to get my family of 5, 3 young kids all the way out to California, but we are going specifically to see Toontown again because only one of my kids has seen Toontown. And so I'm really excited to share that with them. And I just think it's missing from Magic Kingdom.
Glad that Disneyland has it. And being from Florida, I know how hard it is to get to California. It's a full-on day, exhausting day to get over there and a full exhausting day to get back. But I will do it. And I feel grateful that they kept Toontown and that you're able to have that memory with your kids and talk to them about when mommy was a kid, you know, it's such a blessing to still have that piece of it.
Yeah, I truly try not to be grumpy, especially on vacation. But every time I go into that circus area, I'm just a little like, there's so much left to be desired back here. Maybe I'm missing something. If you've got a secret as to what I'm missing about the circus, let me know and I will try to go with a new mindset. But for now, it is just my least favorite area. We hardly spend any time back there at all. I love that the train at Magic Kingdom is open again, the train around the park, and there is a train station back there. So that's fun, but there could be a train station in Toontown. So it doesn't really
That's right.
make a difference. And then the other thing is I don't necessarily love the food choices at Magic Kingdom. I don't love the sit down options. The quick service options are okay. There are a couple iconic ones. And I am the type of person that would enjoy maybe having an adult beverage while I'm sitting on Main Street, have a glass of wine while I'm watching the fireworks. That's something I would enjoy. And you can't do that at Magic Kingdom. So, it's fine. I don't need to do it, but you can't do it there.
And that's really what I was thinking when I was questioning myself, what makes me grumpy? I did go to kind of the blah feeling I often have after a day at Magic Kingdom because it's when all the food choices kick in physically.
Yeah.
And I do eat a lot more fried food at Magic Kingdom. I love a Casey's hot dog, and that isn't the best for this aging soul of mine. And I love a brownie a la mode over in Tomorrowland. I love eating fried fish at Columbia House. So it's just a lot of delicious food. I do enjoy it, but it is more of a fast food type of a thing there. I'm not eating salads at Magic Kingdom.
Right.
They probably are available somewhere, but I am attracted to it, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun eating these foods that are not great for me, but I do feel blah afterwards for sure.
Yeah. And we covered a lot of this on our dining episode. I just think Be Our Guest is a good meal, but it's an underdeveloped experience, in my opinion. There should be a Be Our Guest performance segment, in the dining rooms. I think that's a missed opportunity. I like breakfast at Cinderella's Royal Table. I love a good breakfast. I love a good character meal. So that to me is worth it. But for lunch and dinner, especially lunch, I don't want prime rib at noon in 100-degree heat. So that's a no for me. Skipper Canteen, I do love. I think that's a hidden gem of Magic Kingdom. That's over in the Adventureland area. And it's really good. Good flavors. That's probably the place I love the most.
I have something that makes me grumpy, and it is the hassle of getting into the Magic Kingdom. You have to park your car at the Transportation and Ticket Center, and then you feel like you're on a journey in through the monorail. And sometimes it's part of the excitement, and it's super fun, and it's okay. There's no good way of just being able to park your car and going, unless, of course, you're staying at either the Grand Floridian or at the Contemporary, and you can walk over. But other than that, you're going to need two forms of transportation. Even I would Uber from my house thinking that's going to be convenient. And it is. That's the most convenient thing for me is if I Uber from my house and have them drop me off at the Contemporary and then I walk. But you can't Uber right to Magic Kingdom. Usually they want you to go to the Transportation and Ticket Center. And then you still need to take the monorail. So there's no easy way. And do you guys feel this, or is this just me because I'm going there all the time?
No, this is exactly a perfect segue into our Sleepy Dwarf. This is a you thing because you're a local, but I have a lot of local clients that'll have their car. People that choose to stay off-site will experience this. And this alone, what you're talking about, is not worth it. This is where Sleepy Dwarf, the best resorts, hands down, are obviously the two you mentioned are going to be the best, Contemporary and Grand Floridian, because they are an easy walk. And Contemporary has its own security entrance to Magic Kingdom. So I've actually found really reasonable rates at Contemporary. They have a wide range of room types over there. It can be very doable. And then you have that security entrance. So once you're already through there, you just have to scan in and you are good to go. So Contemporary is a number one when you are focusing on Magic Kingdom, which most families are. Like we said, you're not skipping it. Grand Floridian, another great choice. It's a walkover. And then, of course, the Polynesian, which is directly across. It's on the monorail loop. It's easy. You've got Magic Kingdom views from pretty much everywhere on that property.
You can also do a quick boat ride.
You sure can. Yep. The boat straight across is really nice. And the boats are fun. So I stay at Polynesian a lot, and we usually have a balcony that overlooks the park, which is so amazing. And sometimes we like to sleep with the door cracked or open open. And you can hear those boats. You can hear people having so much fun going to and from Magic Kingdom. And I just think it's part of your experience, So if you can get on the monorail and most specifically contemporary, if you're focused on Magic Kingdom, but any of them would be great.
I love the Grand Floridian. I know the walk is a little bit longer. I've clocked it, and the walk is like maybe 5 minutes longer from the Grand Floridian to Magic Kingdom versus the contemporary to Magic Kingdom.
If you had to rank your favorite monorail resorts, LJ, 1 being your absolute favorite, and then 2 and 3 being lower, what's your order?
I would say Grand Floridian, then contemporary, then Poly. And like, you can't go wrong. Like, they're all so convenient, but I love the walk. I like to walk in general. I walk often, and I love the walk from Grand Floridian to Magic Kingdom. It is a little bit further, but there's no traffic or cars like there are for the contemporary. And I always feel like a little in danger going from the contemporary to Magic Kingdom. And with Grand Floridian, my kids can run ahead. There's so much to see. They can see all the boats going around. They can run off their energy. You know how your kids are like, like I usually have my big son push the stroller, and I'm like, that's helping him get his energy out. It's just the best walk. So I love it for that. And then the contemporary is second because you can still walk over there, which I would prefer to do over waiting for the monorail. And then the Poly is third just because of needing to use another form of transportation. Or I often walk it, which I know most people would not think that a viable option, but it takes about a half an hour to walk from the Poly to Magic Kingdom. And that to me is like not crazy. My kids don't always love it, but I'm like... This is mommy's part. Okay, we're walking. I don't generally walk it with the kids, though. So
mine would probably go Poly number 1, and then contemporary and grand are going back and forth for me. Poly is just definitely my number 1, but I completely get what you were saying. And actually, LJ, you and I had one of our first ever real good conversations on that walk from Grand Floridian to Magic Kingdom. So that'll always be like a super little important plot of Disney World land for me.
Is it that walk where we decided to do this podcast?
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah. On that walking path from the Grand, it was just you and I, and that's where this podcast right here that we're recording came to be. So that for me is just so special. I will always love that walk. I will always love what it means. Honestly, if you're staying on any Disney property, you're going to have the buses that'll drop you off at the bus stops, and that's great, especially if you really need to be mindful of budget, and I get that, but I do think it's really worth strategizing and putting at least a good portion of your budget towards those resorts that are close and convenient for Magic Kingdom. Wilderness Lodge would be another one because it has that boat, and the boat is an easier form of transportation than the bus, in my opinion. Plus, there are good nightly rates at Wilderness Lodge as well. You can make that work. So if you can't make the monorail work, Wilderness Lodge would be the next best, and then on site just in general. But
just talking about like coming from my house, which I basically live in a house that would be like comparable to staying off site. There's definitely off site hotels that are further away from Disney than my house. And I look at like my everyday life as being staying off site. And it's so much more difficult for me to get to any of the parks. Even though I have my own car here, it's still so much more difficult for me to get to the parks from my house versus if I'm on property and able to just grab a bus or whatever. And it's magnified when you talk about Magic Kingdom. All the other parks you can park and walk in, but Magic Kingdom, you're going to definitely take another.
I don't think most people realize that there's a body of water between the parking lot and the gates. There is not a parking lot in front of Magic Kingdom. It's not easy necessarily to get to the gates, which this is a perfect time to segue into Sneezy, the things we avoid when it comes to Magic Kingdom. Number 1 is going to be off-site stays for me. It's just not convenient enough. It's too hard. It's too complicated. And typically you're probably not saving enough to make it worth it. It's just not. That's a Sneezy for me. I'm avoiding staying off-site when Magic Kingdom is a priority, which most of the time it is. So off-site stays are a number 1 Sneezy avoidance. Number 2, for me, the Carousel of Progress.
Oh, no. Not the carousel.
First of all, I don't have the nostalgia for it. I'm sorry. It's just not in my DNA. I don't have Carousel of Progress DNA. I think it's weird. I'm like looking at my family like, are they saying that? Like, I'm like, this is so odd. Like, I don't know. The daughter's like taking a shower. It's just so weird. I don't love the music. Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow is not my jam. I'm not feeling it.
Oh, poor old carousel.
And if I need a break and I'm in Tomorrowland, I'm getting on the People Mover. instead of the carousel.
The thing that I avoid, it's the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse. Guys, it is exercise. That's all it is. It's exercise.
Yeah, and you don't need more exercise when you're at Magic Kingdom. Like, you're getting a million steps in on your day.
Exactly.
We all know that we can't send our kids up in that dang treehouse by themselves. So we have to follow them. We have to do every stair. They want to run. That is an absolute, I'm not running up a treehouse.
I'll admit that there are definitely some rides that I prevented my children from even really knowing much about when they were children because I did not want to deal with it, even though they could see it. And I wouldn't necessarily lie to them, but I never, ever offered Tomorrowland Speedway or Astro Orbiter because just getting into those rides was a longer, more miserable process than the ride itself. And so I've never let them do those. And not too many trips ago, when my children were basically adults, my husband and I, we split off to go have some dinner and just let them kind of roam and do their own thing. And they were apparently holding a little bit of a grudge that they had never gotten to ride Tomorrowland Speedway. And so they did it while we were having dinner. And I was like, well, fine, y'all can waste your own time. That's fine with me. Then they sent us a video where they saw Tim Tebow while they were on that ride. And I was like, dang gummit.
It's so funny because Tomorrowland Speedway should be something you avoid, honestly. Like, it's just a normal mini golf. We have those go-karts at mini golf. Kind of feels like that.
No, it's so much worse than that. It's so slow and the gasoline smell and the noise.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I don't love it, but my kids love it. Oh my gosh. And when they size into being able to be the driver and when I let them hold the steer, I mean, they are so happy on those dang cars. They love it.
I was just not that nice of a mom, I guess.
Oh, perfect. I get mom points for letting them steer. That's great.
It's funny what you guys avoid, what different people avoid. And I know Carousel of Progress has its own gigantic following. I'm not somebody that has to do it, but whenever somebody else is like, let's do it, I'm like, okay, I like it. But the Speedway to me it's a top joy giver for my kids. So we're definitely going to be doing that one.
Yeah. If we're together and the two of you want to go run Carousel of Progress, I'm going to be like, have so much fun, ladies. I'm going to go find something to do. Like, I'm not going. I don't like it. I fall asleep. It's too long.
I wouldn't say that I'm a super fan of the Carousel of Progress, but I will say I had the very best time at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and I dressed up as the grandma from Carousel of Progress. And it was such a fun night having people dawn on them what I was dressed as and them going like, huh? And then going, oh, that was just really, really fun.
It was so perfect. You have to share that. We're going to put that picture up on our social medias because the costume was so perfect. Stacey made it and thanks. It was a dead ringer. I mean, it was so good. It had to be the best costume there that night.
It was really fun. I had a great time with that.
Yeah. And then what about Hall of Presidents? Are y'all going in there?
Oh, no.
The only time I go in there is if I'm nursing a baby.
That would be the only time to go. And even that, nursing a baby was not a super positive experience for me personally. It was hard. I had twins. It was not the magical experience you'd expect. So honestly, Hall of Presidents probably would have made it a little bit more traumatic.
Right. There are plenty of other places I could nurse a baby that I did not have to sit through that.
Yeah, that's just like a no. I mean, I get the history. I understand the Lincoln was a big, awesome Imagineered thing back in the day. So I understand, but it's still a no for me.
Yes, my grandfather that I was speaking of earlier, that really did blow his mind that Abraham Lincoln could stand up. He really was blown away by that. So that is a nice memory for me, but no, thank you.
Okay, I have a controversial question. We can use sneezy for missed opportunity here for a minute because I think Disney has an aversion to making these changes that I think would be cool. So we know that Splash Mountain, which is arguably one of the most iconic rides in Disney history, right? Splash Mountain. And they are closing it and redoing it, and it's going to be Tiana's Bayou Adventure. They're retheming it. It's going to be Princess and the Frog. I personally cannot wait to ride it. I think it's so current and exciting. The music is going to be so great. I can't wait. We know that Disney will retheme things. What do you think of Tom Sawyer Island? Do you think it's a missed opportunity?
I don't do it. My kids do enjoy it when we do it, but it's so rare that we want to spend that much time on that. And it's so much land. Like Toontown could have been over there. They could have put the circus over there. I do feel like it's a bit of a missed opportunity, but if they were going to make it truly what it could be, I feel like they need a better situation for getting over there. water. And a bridge would just be fine. Come on.
You know what I think? You know what I think it should be?
What?
I think it should be the Isle of the Lost from Descendants, where all of the villains and their kids have to live.
That is pretty cool.
It's separated by water. I don't know how relevant Descendants will stay long term, but I don't know. The Isle of the Lost, it's off on its own. It's a little island. Villains could be out there. You could meet them. I think people would absolutely, if villains were out there to meet and their kids, that would be.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that would be a huge hit. That is a great idea.
Ellie, I think they need to hear this from you.
I don't know who to talk to. If anybody's
hopefully somebody's going to hear this podcast.
If anybody's listening, we want Tom Sawyer Island to be rethemed to the Isle of the Lost and have villains. It would be so epic.
People want more of the villains. It's just science. People want more villains.
Yeah, and as DVC members, LJ, you and I are DVC members. That's Disney Vacation Club. And there's this lounge right over at the Contemporary called the Villains Lair. And I was so excited to go there the first time. And it has a beautiful view of the fireworks. It's so amazing. And it's a fun place to go. But the theming is so bad. I just feel like if you're going to do something with the villains, you got to go. You got to go for it, And a TV screen with a still picture of the cartoon version of the evil queen is not really my idea of taking it there.
I haven't gone over there yet. I'd like to do it. I feel like you're more doing it for the view and the lounge and everything. I think they could lean in more to the villains aspect.
Yeah, for sure. You should go over there and see that view. Let's talk about some strategies. We talked about the things we avoid. Let's talk about some strategies to do the things we love. So dock planning, Magic Kingdom, you have this big park. Do you do all of the mountains every time you go? Are you conquering them all? Are you doing them in a specific order? What is your all strategy?
I think my main dock thing is don't pressure myself or my family to do too much. I think that's the big dock move with Magic Kingdom. To give yourself 2 days is the ultimate dock move, or even 3, if 2.5, if you can in your travel schedule, because there's so much to do. And like we were just saying, so much of it is about like the ambiance and the magic. And it's hard to feel that when you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to do all the things. So that's a mistake that we've made in the past. And now I feel all the smarter for it. And I'm not going to rush to do all the things every time.
Yeah. And if it's your first trip ever, or you think it's going to be your only trip ever, even though we all think you'll probably go back, you're really, really, really messing with your ability to enjoy your time if you go one day. One day is not enough. I like bookend days at the very least, starting and finishing with the castle being your first and last view, feeling like you can conquer the park in sections and still enjoy a snack in the hubgrass and see the parades and shows. There are so many things to do. You're not going to do it all in one day. So if you're cool to pace yourself and not see everything, great, that's fine. But if you're a park warrior and you need to see and do it all, one day is it's not enough.
Having strollers at Disney World, those days can be really a lot. And I know that there's a lot of need sometimes to have a stroller from your resort to the park. But the thing that our family always did is we did not take strollers. We would carry children, make them walk or whatever. And then we would rent the strollers at Disney World. And those giant plastic things, I do understand for a small baby, they're not ideal. But as children get older, and I'm talking about my kids were 12 years old, those double strollers, the big, hardy plastic double strollers at Magic Kingdom were fantastic for older kids to be able to pile in there, carry all of our junk. And we actually miss not having those anymore.
Oh, yeah. We always say we're going to bring a stroller even when our kids outgrow it.
Yeah. And they really are great. And we'll suggest some different stroller rental companies so you can have a stroller at your resort. And there are definitely benefits to that. But if your kids are a little bit older, they don't need necessarily the cushions. All you need is your balled up sweatshirt, and a kid can go to sleep in these things really well. And I know that goes against instinct, that you think you need something softer and folding and all that kind of stuff. But man, we love those big plastic strollers at Disney.
I've never rented one, and you're making me question myself. I've always told people, like, no, they're junk. I've always used them for little kids, too. So I'm like, maybe I should try it when I have my 2 boys. They're 8 and 6, my middle boys.
They can totally pile up in that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never used one either. You know what I think is really important too, another dock strategy, is look in your My Disney Experience app ahead of time and get familiar with the lands. I had a client once say, okay, we go in Magic Kingdom, we walk in, and then what? And my answer to her was, have fun. Have fun. And I think familiarizing yourself with what's where, because I think I'm more inclined to start right towards Tomorrowland, like we discussed, because there's so much more over there. There's so much in that Tomorrowland Fantasyland curve. Whereas I kind of feel like Frontierland and Adventureland maybe have a little less. What's even in Frontierland right now? Just Thunder Mountain and some shooting games. It's not much going on over there. And Adventureland has pirates and that treehouse we're not going up in. Magic Carpets of Aladdin, which is cute, but there's just not as many desirable things over to the left for my family. So we're good just to bounce over there to hit Pirates and Thunder Mountain when we can. But majority of the things we want to see are in that Tomorrowland Fantasyland curve. So it's important to familiarize yourself with what is where and what the layout is, so you're not wasting time going left, which is majority of what you want to see is right, or vice versa.
Can I throw in, before we move away from Doc, there is one, I think, hidden gem, and it is the Laughing Room floor over in Tomorrowland. It is the Monsters, Inc. show. I think a lot of people skip it. It is one of our family's absolute favorite things. Now, it is not something that we rush to at Rope Drop or anything like that. We often don't use a Genie Plus option. However, it is one of our favorite places to sit and chill out for a little bit. And it's a comedy show.
Yeah, us too. My family loves it.
And it's so amazing. And when you're standing in line, you can submit a joke, and it'll end up in the show. You also have opportunities that somebody in your family and somebody in your party may get chosen to be a part of the show. And it's just a really fun thing. And I think the comedians in there are fantastic.
That show is hilarious. Pretty much, we do it almost every time we go. And my niece has been selected to be part of the show before. And my daughter's joke has been chosen before. And those are little elements that just enhance it all the more. And I agree. Too many people skip it. It's too much fun to skip.
Let me tell you the joke that our kids submitted that got a roaring laugh. You ready?
I'm ready.
What do penguins have that no other animals have?
I don't know what.
Baby penguins.
I don't know if we should necessarily judge the laugh floor off that joke alone.
Fair. That's fair.
Okay, that's pretty funny. It's cute, but it's so fun. It's like things like that. It's skipped too often. And I think that's our dopey, right? Our dopey is not digging in and finding those gems within Magic Kingdom and only focusing on running to the headliners, right? Because you're going to miss opportunities like that. You're going to miss little photo opportunities and underrated and underestimated attractions and shows. And not giving yourself more than one day is a surefire mistake that's going to have you missing so many things. I mean, by all means, please skip the Country Bear Jamboree, but don't skip the laugh floor.
The dopey moves that I pulled were just showing up. We didn't have a plan for where we were eating. We definitely were hungry when all the other people were hungry. So we waited a really, really long time. We came in at the exact wrong time. You can come in to rope drop the park and you're going to be really successful. But if you don't rope drop, that's totally fine. But don't come in an hour or two after park opening. That's what I love to skip. I'll either rope drop or I'll come in 2-3 hours after park opening, because otherwise you're going to hit bumper to bumper traffic trying to get into the transportation and ticket center. You're going to wait in super long lines coming through at the turnstiles to just get in. Security's going to be crazy. So that's a real dopey move, is to come in at 10.
Yeah, I think you hit it right there, LJ. Think about what you want to do. Spend more than one day, or at least hop. Have the park hopper, because you don't want to feel like Magic Kingdom is one and done, and then you finish at Animal Kingdom and you're like, man, I wish we could go back to Magic Kingdom, and you don't have the option. Or heaven forbid it storms and Happily Ever After, the fireworks show, doesn't show that night, and then you don't have the chance to see it again. There are so many reasons to have the hopper or have more than one day. That's a mistake. Don't not have that.
I feel like more likely you're going to be so delighted in your day at Magic Kingdom that you're going to wish that you had another day or the option to hop. I think it's less likely that you'll have a bad time and want to do a redo. I think it's more likely that you're like, oh my gosh, I saw Happily Ever After and it was incredible. I want to see it again.
You're probably exactly right.
And I would say that my dopey suggestion is not going to resonate with our entire audience. And Allie, I hate to say this, but it's really not going to resonate with you, because I am 6'1", and the thing where I feel most ridiculous is getting in and out, really out of Space Mountain. And I just have a little advice for anyone who is tall like myself. Do not sit in the front seat of Space Mountain. It might be instinctual to think, okay, I want to sit in the front because that'll give me more leg room. You have way less leg room at the front. In the back seat, you have a little bit of room where you can put your feet to the right and left of the seat in front of you. So you have a little more space there. But whatever seat you're in, getting out of Space Mountain, you just kind of have to tuck and roll. I look more silly doing that than any other time of my day. So I'm just going to prepare yourself that it is not going to be pretty, and you just tumble out because the seating is difficult.
You're making my favorite mountain sound so unappealing.
I'm so sorry. It's a super fun ride. It's right up there for me. I do enjoy it. But if you have any height at all, it's a little bit of a struggle getting in and out of.
That's funny.
I'm super glad that you shared that because I have experienced that, and I'm only like 5'7", and I've always kind of like blamed my weight, which I'm not really overweight, but I'm like, I need to lose a few pounds. I'm having a real hard time getting out of this. And now I'm like, oh, maybe all this time it's been my height.
Yeah, the trick kind of is to get your backpack out first and set it on the floor beside you, and then really kind of get out with your upper torso first, and then pull your legs out last because it's just not easy. It's just not easy.
But before we shift into our last dwarf here, we haven't touched on this yet. I think it's important we talk a little bit about Tron. Tron is now open, and I think this is actually a good transition into Bashful. Feeling like you're too old maybe for Magic Kingdom, I think is a really common sentiment, and maybe you feel a little bashful about the fact that you want to experience it. Maybe it's your first time, but Magic Kingdom is gearing itself to every age group, and they're working on doing that more so, especially with the addition of Tron, which is a new roller coaster. It is a big roller coaster. It's for people that like thrills. It's originally from Shanghai Disney, and they've brought it now over into Magic Kingdom. I'm so excited for Tron. I'm so excited to have a big roller coaster at Magic Kingdom. Just having that option there is really, really spectacular. I'm so glad it's there.
I'll be riding it in May with taking my two of my boys after they get out of school, and we'll be on a shorter trip than we usually go on. So I actually am taking some time trying to strategize how we're going to make sure we ride Tron, because I wasn't planning on having a park reservation for Magic Kingdom. We were going to spend each of our mornings in different parks and then hop over to Magic Kingdom in the evenings. We're going to stay at the Contemporary, so we'll have the deluxe magic hours. So we'll be able to have that one extra opportunity to get a virtual queue for Tron that we will not be able to get otherwise because we don't have park reservations at Magic Kingdom. So I'm excited about that. I think we probably will only have the one opportunity to ride unless we do purchase an individual lightning lane as well. So we might get to ride it twice. But at the deluxe hotels, those are so beneficial for that type of thing because the deluxe magic hours, kind of like a party, do have the lower crowds. And Magic Kingdom does tend to be a lot of families with smaller children. And those extra late hours where the park is open is not as crowded because people are getting the kids back and in bed. So that is a great opportunity that I'm glad we're going to get to have.
Yeah. So I think people being bashful about feeling like they're too old for Magic Kingdom or it's only for kids, that is so inaccurate. I mean, everything we've talked about, all of the happiness and the nostalgia and the treats and the ambiance, the atmosphere, all of those things. And now they have rides that range from Small World to Tron. Clearly, this is a park for everyone. And it's a generational park, right? It's something you can enjoy with your grandparents and your toddlers and your babies. You know, it's generational. It's wonderful. And Tron is just making it so much better.
And sit in the front, you guys. It's worth the wait for the front row. You know, some of the rides don't, but they knew that the front was going to be the best because they have this whole extra queue area for you to say, I want to sit in the front and then go into this other separate line. And so it is going to take a little longer, but I waited for the front and I feel like it made it for me.
We have talked so much about everything that makes Magic Kingdom what it is, so special to all of us. The good, the bad, the not so good, missed opportunities. I think we've wrapped it all up. If you have any questions about Magic Kingdom, be sure to hit us up on our socials. We are always willing to talk Magic Kingdom, park, attractions, strategies, you name it. We are going to take another quick break, and when we get back, we're going to tackle the lightning lane.
Hey y'all, it's LJ. Welcome to my segment. We are talking about Magic Kingdom, and the first thing that I think of in regards to Magic Kingdom is delighting my kids. I already said earlier in the podcast that Epcot would probably be my actual favorite, but because of how much my kids love Magic Kingdom, it really bumps it up for me. One thing that I think is important is to make sure that your kids know the characters going into Magic Kingdom. The rides that are at Magic Kingdom are the movies that I love personally, like Snow White, Ariel, Beauty and the Beast, Peter Pan. I feel like I grew up with them. So they were movies that I introduced to my kids pretty young. You may want to have a little movie list and make sure that your kids fall in love with some of the classics. I say classics, I'm like dating myself. I feel like the 80s and 90s movies are well represented at Magic Kingdom. Another thing to think about in regards to Magic Kingdom is that that's where the parties are, both the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. I'm a huge fan of both, and I feel like it's an amazing way to get the most out of very small price. Basically, a party ticket is very similar in cost to a regular day's ticket, and you get mostly the park pretty much to yourself. There's a lot of extras that go on, a lot of character meeting, and for the Halloween party, you have the trick-or-treating, and for the Christmas party, they'll usually have Christmas cookie crawl where you're going to the different locations and picking up different types of cookies. I love all that stuff. That's what I'm mostly there for. I would say I mostly go to the parties for the characters and the special shows that are not available any other time. I especially love the parades and the fireworks. I don't think there's better fireworks than at the parties. They are just exceptional. But if you are not as well versed in Disney as I am, if you go for the rides during the parties, you can get done probably twice what you can get done in a normal day in a party night if you just focus on rides. Because most people that go to the parties are there for the special characters and the special shows and that type of thing. So the ride lines are like walk-ons, empty all day. So I highly recommend the parties if it fits into your budget. I feel like you can knock a day, maybe 2 days off your tickets if you're going to do the party, and you're going to love it. Everything about it is so much fun. Just the iconicness of being at Magic Kingdom, running around. I just always get this like giddy feeling when I know I'm going to a party. And last year I went to, I think, 3 Halloween parties and 2 Christmas parties. So I obviously love it. You should do it if it's on your maybe list.
Welcome back, everyone. We are ready for our lightning lane round. Are you ready? Fast answers, ladies?
Yep, I'm ready.
I'll try.
All right. Just answers. Don't think. Just do. Are you ready?
Okay, I got it.
All right. Quickly, both of you. Best attraction in Fantasyland?
Seven Dwarfs.
Seven Dwarfs. That's great.
And not Peter Pan. Don't even come at me with Peter Pan.
No.
Best attraction in Adventureland?
Pirates.
Jungle Cruise.
I do love the Jungle Cruise.
Oh, God. Get out of here.
I do. I love it.
Let's go Pirates. It's for sure. Best attraction in Frontierland?
Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah.
Country Bear Jamboree? No? Best part of Liberty Square?
It's a pretty good place to watch parade.
Yeah. There's nothing else. Like, can we?
Oh, Columbia House.
I was going to say, the Harbor House or parade viewing. Those are my answers.
I want to say Sleepy Hollow for the Nutella waffles.
Oh, wait. You know what? We're talking about Sleepy Hollow, which I always lump in with Fantasyland, but you know what else is Liberty Square? Duh. The Haunted Mansion.
Oh my gosh. Yes. That
Haunted Mansion. Oh my gosh. So I always sort of saying that I lumped Sleepy Hollow in. I always kind of lump Haunted Mansion in with Fantasyland too, but technically it's Liberty Square, right?
Totally. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
That's like one of the most iconic Magic Kingdom, Disney World attractions, really. I mean, it has like a whole cult following.
Yeah.
You know, people Disney bound as the Haunted Mansion. Everybody loves it.
Yep,
Stacey,
that's the answer.
Yeah, that's better than the Columbia Harbor House, FYI.
Although the Columbia Harbor House is mighty good.
All right, well, you go eat your fish or whatever, and I'll go ride Haunted Mansion.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I didn't even think of that.
Do you know how many ghosts are in the Haunted Mansion?
Well, I know there's always room for one more.
Okay, that was good. The best part of Main Street?
Ambiance.
Yeah, just like the view of the castle. I gotta say that.
Everything is amazing about that. The best quick service at Magic Kingdom?
Columbia Harbor House.
Best sit down service at Magic Kingdom.
Be our guest.
Yeah. It's really the only one we've ever made any attempts to do. So I do want to try Skipper Canteen. I guess I'm bashful. I haven't tried that one.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Most underrated show or attraction.
Well, I've already said the Laughing Room floor, but I'll also say the shows during the parties that are at center stage in front of the castle, they're fantastic. Man, they're really good.
I think, honestly, if you're saying underrated, I would say Astro Orbiter, because I feel like we missed that for a long time. And then when we did decide to do it, it does take a long time, but it's such a fun experience and such a cool way to see the park.
No.
Never doing it.
You're not.
That didn't convince me.
You're not selling me. What about your must do? Your day is not complete at Magic Kingdom if you don't do this.
Have a coffee from Starbucks. That is literally what I must do. I have to get a coffee, like hang out on Main Street, sipping, getting photos. Everything else is a bonus.
Mickey ice cream in a parade.
Fireworks for me. And riding the train now is a big one for me.
Yeah, we love that too.
I just rode the train for the first time earlier this year, and gosh, it was fun. I look forward to it every time now.
Yeah, it's really great.
Well, that's going to do it for us today. We dove deep inside Magic Kingdom, all of the reasons why not only should you not be skipping this park, of course, but you should likely be spending at least 2 days of your vacation within Magic Kingdom. It is perfect for all ages. We love experiencing it with our babies, toddlers, big kids, grandparents, you name it. Shows, attractions, it has everything. It is all of the Disney magic all wrapped up into one. Be sure to join us next week as we continue our parks deep dive. Until then, be sure to follow us on all of our social medias at Smart Moms Plan Disney Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast to be the first to know when a new episode drops. And as always, if you are ready to start planning a Disney vacation, be sure to reach out to your Smart Moms travel agent. If you don't already have one, fill out the link in our bio to get connected with a show host. Until next time, we'll see you real soon.